the king of commuters reigns supreme. You don't buy a Honda Shine 125 because you want to break land speed records or carve corners like a MotoGP rider. You buy it because you want a machine that starts with a whisper every single morning for the next 15 years without a single complaint. For 2026, Honda hasn't tried to reinvent the wheel, and honestly, they didn't need to. They've taken the most trusted name in the 125 cubic centimeters segment and polished the rough edges to create a bike that feels more refined, more efficient, and more relevant than ever before. If you're looking for the ultimate balance between fill it and forget it, reliability and modern urban mobility, the 2026 Shine 125 is standing at the top of the mountain. Design evolution, subtle, sophisticated, and timeless. At first glance, the 2026 model retains that iconic, conservative silhouette that has made it a household name. However, look closer and you'll see the 2026 updates. Honda has finally moved toward a more premium finish. The chrome garnishes on the side covers and the exhaust heat shield are deeper and more resilient to weathering. The headlight cowl has been sharpened slightly, giving it a more focused face on the road. Most importantly, the 2026 version finally adopts a full LED headlamp setup across all variants, throwing a much wider and wider beam for those late-night commutes. It's not a sporty bike, and it doesn't pretend to be. It looks like a mature, professional machine that belongs in an office parking lot just as much as it does in a rural marketplace. The heart of the matter, 125 cubic centimeters of pure refinement. The real magic of the 2026 Honda Shine lies beneath the fuel tank. The 123.94 cubic centimeters single-cylinder, air-cooled engine is now fully compliant with the latest global emission standards, but remarkably, it hasn't lost its punch. Using Honda's enhanced Smart Power (ESP) technology, the friction within the engine has been reduced to almost zero. When you hit the starter button, there's no grinding noise. Thanks to the ACG silent starter, the engine simply wakes up. On the road, the power delivery is linear and creamy. You get about 10.7 horsepower and 11 Nm of torque, which might sound modest on paper, but because the 5-speed gearbox is so perfectly geared for city traffic, you never feel underpowered. You can click it into 5th gear at 35 km per hour and it will pull cleanly all the way to 85 km per hour without a single vibration reaching your hands or feet. Ride quality, a couch on 2 wheels. If you spend 2 to 3 hours a day in the saddle, the 2026 Shine 125 is your best friend. The ergonomics are strictly upright, your back stays straight, and your arms reach the handlebars naturally. The seat is perhaps the longest and most cushioned in its class, making it the gold standard for those who often carry a pillion rider or a family member. For 2026, Honda has tweaked the rear 5-step adjustable suspension to be slightly more progressive. This means it soaks up those sharp, unexpected potholes better than the previous generation. Whether you're navigating broken tarmac or smooth highways, the bike feels planted and stable, largely due to the 18-inch wheels that offer better rollover capability than the smaller wheels found on some competitors. Tech and features, practicality over gimmicks. In an era where every bike is trying to bundle a smartphone app and a GPS screen, Honda has kept the 2026 Shine 125 refreshingly simple but functional. The instrument cluster is now a semi-digital unit. You get a clear analog speedometer, which many riders still prefer for quick glances, paired with a digital screen that displays a fuel gauge, 2 trip meters, and a much-requested gear position indicator. There's also an ECO indicator that glows when you're riding in the most fuel-efficient zone. Safety is handled by the Combi Brake System, CBS. With an optional front disc. The bite is predictable and progressive, ensuring that even novice riders can bring the bike to a halt safely in wet conditions. Efficiency and the ownership experience. Let's talk about what matters most to your wallet, fuel economy. In real-world testing, the 2026 Shine 125 continues to deliver a staggering 60 to 65 km per liter, depending on your riding style. With a 10.5-liter tank, you're looking at a range of over 600 kilometers between trips to the petrol pump. But the savings don't stop at the fuel. Honda's service network is legendary, and the Shine is built with parts that are designed to last. The maintenance costs remain the lowest in the segment. When you factor in the incredibly high resale value, where a 5-year-old Shine often sells for more than half its original price, the 2026 model isn't just a purchase, it's a smart financial investment. Is it right for you? The 2026 Honda Shine 125 isn't trying to compete with the high-tech features of the TVS Raider or the aggressive styling of the Pulsar 125. It plays a different game. It is built for the rider who values peace of mind above all else. It's for the professional who needs to get to work looking sharp, the father who needs a reliable family vehicle, and the student who wants a bike that won't break the bank. It is smooth, silent, and incredibly sturdy. In a world of flashy trends, the Shine 125 remains the sensible choice. If you want a bike that disappears underneath you and just does its job perfectly every single day, the 2026 Honda Shine 125 is still the undisputed king of the commute.